Here we are, it's second week of October, October 12th. I'm in Illinois hunting. I'm grinding it out for like a week. We got a good cold front, but we're just not seeing the deer. I know the bucks are there. We've got cameras running. We're getting their pictures, but it's all nighttime. This farm in Illinois that I hunt is really tedious. These bucks are funny. They can't stand much human pressure at all. They're not used to it. It's a very remote part of Illinois, and these deer are hard to access. The way this timber lays across these big fields and different things and these ditches, you got to be really careful with these deer. Once they know they're hunted, they either shut down completely or they leave. So I snuck down into this area that was basically a transition trail from one big huge doe bedding area to another big bedding area. If any of these big deer they're gonna walk in front of this camera at some point in the daylight. I'm gonna get their picture and I'm gonna know whether it's time. I'll take that camera, I'll hang it up, and I'll spray it down with the phase system. I'll get it scentless as I can, kill that human scent. Sometimes I'll even take like dirt and leaves to get that earth smell on those cameras and around that tree and right there, and try to cover up anything I can. Keep that alertness as low as possible to where they don't feel like, okay, this is definitely wrong and I need to totally vacate this area. We slipped down in there, set this camera up, and we shot off to Kansas. We got a big cold front coming in, and it's supposed to drop down to like 56 degrees of the high, and lows, you know, even in the 30s at night. So that could really trigger some action here in this kind of middle of October. We were gone almost a week. We come right back to Illinois. The deer still aren't walking. They're just not. We hunt 3 days. Even the camera said they weren't. It's all nighttime movement. Again, we pack up, we head to Iowa, and come right back. And in that amount of time of just 3 days, these deer finally started getting off their butts and walking. Every year the rut can be just a little bit different as far as like a week apart or what stage they're in. We felt the deer on this farm were just now heavy into that cruising stage, searching for a hot doe. I think they just were going a little later on this farm. We had pictures of him the first and the second doeless cruising in the bedding areas. Here we are catching him at the perfect time, trying to catch these deer in a good callable mood in the cruising phase, where they're going to be on their feet at any time of the day searching for a hot doe. We knew that if we just sat in this hillside along this creek with this phase of the rut that these deer were in this searching cruising phase, it was just a matter of running into them at the right time. It is November 3rd. Now we're back in Illinois trying to maybe just pull it off in the next 2 days and get one killed before we go home. This spot we're hunting is the one spot that we've had the most success. What it does is it's pinching between this cornfield, the pasture fence and creek, and this little finger of timber that leads to another bedding area. And this finger just leads around to another big finger of timber. This is where we're at. We got the right wind. We did some extra work here before we left, trimmed a few more branches. And so now I feel a lot more comfortable about my shots right here. And hopefully one of these big deer on this farm decide to walk through this pinch tonight. The one buck we're looking for walked right through here at 8 o'clock last night. We're hoping he'll make that same pattern. One topic to think about here, a deer's senses are enhanced by moisture. When you get some moist air, a small rain or a heavy rain or days after a rain, and you've got really moist air, that deer's sense of smell is 10 times better than even what it is on a regular dry, hot day. A deer can smell so far away, it's crazy. I always try to set up my stands in these corridors where these deer want to mark their territory, let every other buck know that they're here or they've been here, and where the does are going to come and communicate with them also. This hunt here actually was very tenseful when it come right down to the kill, because I didn't even see the deer at first. Tanner was the first one, my camera guy, to see the deer. All I hear is him freaking out, ben, 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 you know. So instantly, that spikes your blood pressure immediately, because you know, okay, he's got a shooter in his sights. and I realized, oh my gosh, this is the deer we've been chasing. He's a giant. He looks 10 times bigger in person because he's right here at 15 yards in my face on the side of this hill. The deer doesn't see me and had to rush and settle my pin before this deer got behind this tree. Man. Oh my gosh, that's him. Dude. Oh my, I gotta sit down. The key was finally moving that camera into the bedding area and getting that most recent information of, okay, he's on his feet in daylight, I gotta camp it out. It's got frothy bubbles and it's bright red. That's the kind of blood you want to look for. Let's get this sucker. This was the deer that we've encountered once at dark. Using the scent control, again, being scentless on these moist days of the fall is very, very important, because getting in these areas where these deer are confined, you're going to get thermals, you're going to get swirling winds. This deer could have picked us off at any time because it was a windy day, it was rainy, it was moist. Everything coming together like that, all those little things come to play when it comes to killing these mature bucks. I feel using trail cameras are essential to telling you when these deer are on their feet and when they're not. And the other thing is, you got to have a big buck to kill one. That's a huge factor of just having the animal to kill. You know, if you're after a giant buck, you got to have a giant to kill. If you're just after deer, that's fine. Find the biggest deer you can hunt if that's what trips your trigger. Know he's there, and then start using your tactics to put yourself in play.